to kind of forward that point, I just have to ask what you're saying right there about not just education through a book, but education through actual life experience. I feel like that aspect is probably pushed a little more than it should be, you know, like education through books. At least it is here in the US, you know,
it's the same thing here, you know. It's the same thing here. In Jamaica, we have this thing where if you don't go to certain high school and you're not a lawyer, you're a doctor, you're nobody. Okay. We look down on skilled labor as if it's something bad. If somebody I remember going to school, the aim is to be a doctor, a lawyer. If you get caught in doing business subjects or any of those, you're considered dunce. And when you really look at it in the sense that, okay, we had like classes, like I end up in one of those classes where I'm supposed to be one of the, you're going to be the greatest, great lawyer or doctor, or you understand, one of those roles.
Yeah.
And if you didn't pass a certain amount of subject, if you go to a particular high school, then you're skilled, you only learn engineering and the technical schools. People don't regard them as high as these traditional high schools that were started like by the Catholic churches and the Anglican churches. So there's this, I call it apartheid education system in Jamaica that need to be rolled over and revamped in every way in terms of what we are taught. Because what we need more than anything else is skills. Or are we going to a lawyer? We have enough lawyers in this country. What we need is some engineers. We need some people who understand the basics. Just sometimes a little, you have to respect the garbage man because he understands cleanliness, the importance of cleanliness. You have to respect his skills and get out of teaching people in this rote matter. That's what they call it. Like, not everybody learn the same way. Some persons are here and to be the machinery that keeps the wheel turning. You understand? And that don't mean you at the top standing on top of the machine is more important than the man turning the wheel. So in terms of skills education, we need engineers, we need builders in terms of construction workers, we need environmentalists, veterinarians, those kind of things, skills labor.
Right.
Just to basically operate this basic transport. I always look at life in this way. If there should be, universe forbid it, there should be a hurricane or a catastrophe that happens. You think any of these cushy jobs would matter? Suit that you have on and your long tie is going to matter? Are you going to be crunching financial numbers anymore? We're going to have to go back to the basics of life, which is what we frown on. We frown on the basics of life. So my aim is to teach a respect for the basics. Okay. So you learn to respect from the ant. You learn to respect that very breath you take out of you. When you wake up and you go, so, whoa, I'm alive. You learn to respect it in another person. Come here, Bubbler.
Right.
I'm going to introduce you to somebody. I want you to come in the picture you're talking about.
Unless I look my very best.
Come here, darling.
I can only come in pictures I look my very best.
Listen to me. You don't need a makeup. Put on the something and come.
I can only come in pictures I look my very best.
I want you to meet this great musician. His name is Franklin Bubbler Wall. You should research who this man is. He works with Sly and Robbie. He plays on almost everybody in reggae music, rhythm. Great keyboardist.
Hey man, pleasure to meet you, man.
You should have an interview with him.
I tried. It's nice to be associated with the great Isha Bel, yeah? Isha Bel.
Yes.
All right, man.
Take care of her, all right? Thank you very much.
Nice seeing you, man.
Great Isha Bel. If it wasn't for her, I would not be at this place.
There you go.
Right?
There you go.
Yeah, it keeps me alive. Survival. She a singer. I'm not joking.
We go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look at when I run the
all the nice ladies coming. Anyway, we go.
I know you.
Hey, man. What was that gentleman's name?
What's that?
What was that gentleman's name? Right?
Franklin Bubbler Wall.
Gotcha.
And they in Spain. Most famous, mañana.
Most famous.
See you.
When
See you.
hasta, what's it on? Okay. Hasta la vista.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So one thing that you touched on was the topic of basic skills. Like you said, if hypothetically, if there's a catastrophe tomorrow, the cushy jobs are not gonna be there. I think you're right, because for example, public education here in America, just for example, it's kind of the same. We don't really promote basic training,
No.
life skills, and we're still abiding by that public education system that's so old. The system in the education system that you're telling me about in Jamaica, is that like a central thing, or is it is that like the public option, or
It's a public education situation. It's not a situation where you can if you want, okay, this is it. I call it, you are given functional education.
okay,
Going to school. I went to an all-girls school, all-girls Catholic school, right?
okay,
And they didn't teach like beauty culture in school. They didn't teach hairdressing in school. They didn't teach nothing like that. They teach you home economics, yes, but that was just right. The school itself, certain things they don't expect you to do, because you're supposed to be among the best of the population to get into these high schools, because you're given a test at primary level. And at primary level, you're given those tests. Like 50,000 children at age 11 take that test.
okay,
All right? 9,000 get into the high schools that are considered the top of the crop. Then the rest are filtered out into secondary school.
okay.
But
Right.
what kind of education is that?
It's a period.
You're not.
Right.
You honest?
Yeah.
That is what Jamaica education system is made of. So it's like you're always sustaining this anomaly is the kids. You know that the more life opportunities you have to learn, the better you are able to move up in the different. So you're basically maintaining the social structure in school, in work, in Vietnam. And the ones who go to secondary school, a couple of them just might come through the cracks. Most of them are left down there at the bottom. So you have an education system that cater for the ones that are considered book bright, but the ones who may learn through just watching something and go make it is nobody, you know?
Yeah, that's very backwards. And
well, because if you know anything about Jamaica, we're vestiges of colonial England. UK Queen was the head of our still is the head of our country. Figuratively, I don't know, but we're not a fully independent nation, I would say. Okay. So we adopt a lot of the systems like that. We have a lot of things need to just revamp. Education system need to take into consideration. I remember as a little girl, my daughter, I used to let her watch this cartoon. Okay. Tinker. You know that cartoon?
Yeah, I mean
Tinkerbell. Whole lot of life lessons in it about respecting your calling, and everybody understand that there's a calling. And until our education system respect the calling, okay, China, I don't know, you're an American, or I don't know nothing about that, but I just watch the Chinese, and even the Russians do it. They identify the strengths in the children from early. So they filter them out into whatever their strengths are.
Right.
Here, nobody business about your strength. You better pass a common entrance exam and just go through and all right. You understand? Nobody business that. You are meant to be a doctor, not in a doctor. You are meant to fix tiles. You are a man who can make furniture. Nobody business with that. That you as a little boy used to tinker things like Tinkerbell. People frown on the Tinkerbells of the world.
Right. Nah, yeah. You shouldn't frown on the Tinkerbells of the world, you know?
No.
Of course not. Of course.
No.
Yeah.
It's like a man would start, we leave high school, and like some of our friends, maybe their parents couldn't afford to send us to college or whatever, may go get a job. But another set just can't go get a job, him go and get a stall and put on the side of the road and sell some things, and they will see him and laugh at him. Look at him, what he has become. Not knowing that 10 years later, he's going to own the 10 shops on the roadside, because that's entrepreneurship. Right. But they don't respect that. They don't respect those basic principles of life. You have to learn to respect from the sweeper to the CEO, and deal with people according to their, as I say, you are here to contribute to the balance. Your role is no more important than the next.
Right. Yeah. Well,
a little bit too heavy.
No. Of course. I mean, to be honest, that's actually a perfect segue, because I was just going to ask you. It seems like you realized that pretty young yourself. In that same Caveman interview, you touched on how you actually left the university to pursue music.
Yeah, I was going to school, working, because I left high school, did 1 year at A levels, what we call what you would call community college.
Okay.
And then I went and get a job, because I had to sustain myself. I'm from a family of 6 children, mother and father have to struggle. So I have to sustain myself. So I went and get a job, you know, and go to school part-time. And I was at the university part-time while working. And then the music bug came, and then I was singing. And like into the second year, it became so pressuring. I had to decide, because what used to happen is while I'm working to sustain myself, I'm hunting everything to do music. I would ask my friend, a friend of mine, he had a brother that run a studio, and I said, you can't carry me in the studio, I'm going to sing to and I just want to learn, man. I was more passionate about the music than no 9-to-5 job or no school. I just want the music. You understand? I don't care what nothing else, you know. My waking hours is just making songs and creating, and nobody understands me because that girl was so much talented. That's everything for the music.
Of course. I mean, you know, I think there's a that kind of happens with a lot of people that do music and then decide to go to college. You know, they're like, okay, will this work out? You know, and you know, sitting in class sometimes. Maybe, you know, the lesson is going on, whatever, you're just tapping.
I'm thinking about that song and writing down the lyrics.
Exactly. You're not even listening to what's going on. Maybe
what is going on?
Exactly. Yeah. So I totally get you. I mean, you know, even for myself, it was such a struggle just to, it's like, when I was leaving class, I was already, you know, figuring out, you know, okay, so, you know, what time is band practice today? You know, all this type of stuff, you know?
Right, yeah. That's why I tell you, when I used to work, I would go to class. My class is usually on a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then I would go to rehearsal 8 o'clock, and we rehearse 8 o'clock to 11 o'clock. You understand?
Yeah.
And then I get up back and go to work in the morning. My life was such a I can't remember those days. I'm going to tell you what happened to me that eventually caused me to leave my job. I don't really tell people about this, but
all right. You want me to edit this out or?
No. I think I can talk about it now. I used to leave my job at 5 in the evening. Sometimes I skip out an hour, cut early to go catch the vehicle to get to Montego Bay because I used to have shows. This particular day, rain was falling, right? Rain, torrential rain, falling, and no taxi can go anywhere. And I reach on Marcus Garvey Drive, which is in Kingston. They got I book a flight, right? Because I said, I'm not going to reach in time. So I take out my little money and go pay for one domestic flight to go down. Yeah. Then now, taxi stuck. I well dressed, and it was a Friday evening because my company was a newspaper. I used to work at the newspaper called The Observer. Right. So well dressed in my Observer shirt and jeans, you know, stush girl, came out the taxi in the middle of the rain and decided, so I now miss my flight. So I go walk it to the airdrome from where the taxi stuck because no vehicle was moving. So I decided to walking, and I just feel myself just go down a ditch like this. The water was up to here, my neck.
Nah.
I'm serious. And when I came out the ditch, I climbed myself out, everything was wet. Then I had to cross the road because the water was high on the road. And then I signaled to some guy. Some guy said, "Well, I'm to you," and said, "Gonna help me cross." And I told these guys were being nice to me. You know. The guy turned to me and said, "I must give him $100. I'll help you across the road." So I had to give each of them $100 to help me cross the road. And that is where my heart sank, you know. And I was like, you know.
Yeah.
Then I make it through the gate, and then I look, I see the flight going away.
Damn.
Right?
Damn. Yeah.
Then I wait right to everybody looking at me, because everybody drive past me going in. And I go to the lady and said, "Do you have another flight going out?" She says, "It's at 6:30, but my show is at 7:30. I'm not going to reach Montego Bay in time." Right?
Yeah.
So I go in the bathroom and I change, and nobody talking to me. And it's like in that moment, I find something in myself. Anytime my back is against the wall, that is when the fiercest part of me come out, right? So what happened now, I go on the girls say, "Okay, no problem, I'll put you on the other flight." I said, "I just drop outside in some water, and I'm not in the mood for anything. It's just 10 minutes, I'm going to get on the other line." Yeah. I say, "Okay." And I see everybody looking at me, and I just go in a corner and sit down and say, "How the hell am I going to get from Montego Bay to Negril in 1 hour?" And I mean, the flight now, because I waited an hour because the flight gone already because I reached late.